The sun was high and cruel over the cracked highway, heat shimmering off rusted signs and abandoned storefronts. A dusty breeze stirred the silence, carrying the faint echo of engines growling in the distance. At the edge of a forgotten town, an old woman stood on the crumbling sidewalk, her cane tapping slowly against the ground. She was out of place. Too elegant for this part of town, her white hair was perfectly pinned beneath a tan hat. A string of pearls rested against her collarbone, shining softly above the neat folds of a wool coat. She looked like she belonged in a Sunday tea room, not on the turf of a biker gang. But Eleanor May Whitaker wasn't here for tea. Across from her stood 5 men, towering, tattooed, and wrapped in leather vests patched with a snarling wolf engulfed in flames. The emblem of the Iron Fangs, a name whispered in bars and shouted in back-alley brawls. They had taken what wasn't theirs. And she had come to take it back. The biggest of them stepped forward, bald head gleaming in the sun, a jagged scar twisting down his jawline. His name was Roach, leader of the gang. His boots scraped against the pavement as he closed the distance, sneering. "Don't take another step, lady," he growled. "You're not welcome here." Eleanor's eyes met his, steady and unreadable. "I'm not here for hospitality," she replied. "I'm here for my husband's shop." Roach laughed, a rough, guttural bark. The others joined in, folding their arms across chests, littered with inked warnings. Behind them, the old antique shop stood gutted, windows smashed, door splintered, and the Iron Fangs' flaming wolf tagged across the wooden frame in red and black. "This place?" Roach scoffed. "It's ours now. You're a little late, Grandma." She took another step forward. The cane tapped, once, twice. "It was built by my husband's hands, every beam, every shelf. He gave this town a place to remember its past. And you turned it into filth." "You got guts," Roach muttered. "I'll give you that. But guts don't count for much when you're outnumbered 5-1. "I'm not outnumbered," she said calmly. Roach raised an eyebrow. "Oh? You brought a knitting club with you?" "No," she smiled faintly. "I brought someone better." That's when it began. A deep, rolling growl of an engine, growing louder from down the road. The bikers turned, confused. From the dust, a motorcycle emerged, sleek, black, and fast. It cut through the haze like a blade, stopping hard beside Eleanor with a screech. The rider dismounted, without a word. Combat boots hit the ground. He stood tall, his shirt clinging to a frame hardened by war, his face unshaven but composed, and his eyes cold, focused. He looked at Roach, then at his mother. "Sorry I'm late," he said. "You're just in time," she replied. Roach scoffed again. "This him? Your big rescue? One guy?" The son didn't respond. He moved. In a flash, Roach swung a fist, but the son ducked, grabbed his arm, twisted, and drove a knee into his ribs. Roach crumpled with a howl. The next biker charged with a crowbar, but he barely got a step before the son closed the distance and dropped him with a ruthless jab to the throat. Another tried to blindside him. Too slow. The son spun, hooked his leg, and flipped him hard onto the concrete. 2 bikers left. One backed up with his hands raised, the other turned and ran. It was over in 20 seconds. Eleanor hadn't moved. Her cane stood upright beside her like a scepter of quiet defiance. Roach groaned, crawling across the gravel. The son knelt beside him. "This is your warning," he said softly. "If you or your friends come back here, it won't be a warning next time." He stood and turned to his mother. "Let's go inside." The door groaned as it opened. Dust choked the light, pouring through the cracks, broken shelves, shattered glass, the ruins of a life's work. Eleanor stepped inside and looked around, her hands lightly brushing the counter. "It's worse than I expected," her son muttered. She nodded. "But it's still standing. That's enough." They worked until the sky turned orange. They swept, cleared, pulled down the gang's emblem from the wall. The son nailed a new board over the window, while Eleanor unpacked a box of old photographs and placed them on a cleaned shelf. The shop had a heartbeat again. 2 weeks passed. The town buzzed with whispers. The Iron Fangs were gone. No one knew exactly what happened, just that they left in a hurry. And May's Antiques, boarded and silent for so long, reopened with a new sign. May's back in business. People started coming again, curious, then loyal. Eleanor greeted each customer like family. Her son stayed mostly out of sight, but everyone knew he was there, watching, protecting. Sometimes at dusk, a black motorcycle would ride slow past the shop, circling once before disappearing down the highway. And Eleanor would smile to herself because no one had to say it out loud. She wasn't just a grandmother, she was a storm in pearls. And she had a son who made devils run.